Hello, patrons. Thank you so much for your pledge and welcome to the Court of Swords. I am your GM, Skinny Ghost, and I have Dan here, and we're going to make a character. But before we do that, since Dan, you are a bit of a new face around RollPlay, why don't you tell me a little bit about your experience with RPGs, with Dungeons & Dragons?
I never really done sit down table D&D, but I did grow up playing Baldur's Gate and the Infinity Engine games back in the day, which used D&D rules. So I am familiar with like how the weapon stats and stats of the characters, and I've made tons of characters in Baldur's Gate, so I know how to do all that stuff. My only sit down experience is with West Marches with JP, so I have a little bit of experience of doing it live.
Cool. Yeah, you'll find, I think, that 5th edition is a little bit less complex than what you're used to with Baldur's Gate. There's no, like, weapon proficiency kits, but it's nice that you know the difference between strength and dexterity from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
So for making your character, we're going to be using predominantly the, like, basic rules from 5th edition D&D with a couple of tweaks for Court of Swords particularly. Now, we talked a little bit before this session about what kind of characters everybody wants to play. And last I heard, you were interested in playing a cleric. You still feeling the pious vibe?
Yes, I like playing healers, so this would be a good class.
Yeah. And do you have a race that you want to play?
Dwarf.
Nice dwarf, nice stout cleric. Cool. Yeah, it's important to have a support in the party. So I'm sure that Max and JP will both be very pleased by your choice.
Yes.
Don't let them push you around.
I will keep them alive.
The great thing about being the healer is when it comes down to it, you get to decide whether or not you want to heal them. So if someone's giving you lip, you can just be like, yeah, no, not for you today.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, you got the hardest choices sorted out, right? Picking your class and choosing the race you want to play is usually the tricky part. Once you got that, it's all simple. So we're gonna walk through the steps that you need to take to make your character. Now, to define the basic stuff about your character, so you're like your ability scores, your strength, your dexterity, your constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma, you have two choices. Now, there's the safe route, which is that you can assign 6 numbers to those stats, and then you'll modify them based on your character's race. And those are set, right? It's a 15. They range between 3 and 18, so like the D&D you're used to. So you get a 15, a 14, a 13, a 12, a 10, and an 8. So just a descending order. That's the safe route. Or if you want to, you can roll, and you're going to roll 4d6, keep the highest 3, do that 6 times, and then assign them however you like. Do you have a preference?
I think
worship at the altar of the chaos gods, or do you want to take the list?
I think we'll go the safe route.
Nice. That's a wise choice.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So what you want to do is you're going to assign those 6 stats to your character. We'll modify them later. You can do that on your character sheet. Now, like in D&Ds of yore, the most important stat, and likely the one you're going to want to use your 15 on, is your character's wisdom. So wisdom is the prime stat of the cleric. So my suggestion would be to place your 15 there, and then it gets somewhat more complicated after that. Now, as a dwarf, you'll get a bonus depending on what kind of dwarf you are. You'll get a bonus to your constitution for being a dwarf, and then either your strength or your wisdom if you're a hill dwarf or a mountain dwarf. But as a cleric, you're going to end up probably tangling, hand to hand with some of your opponents. So a high constitution and a high strength wouldn't do you amiss. But do you have any particular array in mind?
I was leaning towards hill dwarf.
Yeah, smart choice, because hill dwarves get a +1 to their wisdom. So that'd give you another boost for being a cleric. Cool. Okay. Well, let's record just the base stats for now, and then we'll bump you up from there, because you'll get a +2 to your con and a +1 to your wisdom. Okay. So you're thinking 15 wisdom. Where do you want to put your next score? Your 14.
14.
Your second highest.
I think we'll go into strength for 14.
Okay. Nice. Okay. So you'll be able to hold your own in a fight. Okay. And then your 13.
Let's go constitution.
Yeah. Good choice. Cool. All right. So you can go ahead and you can record these on your character sheet. They're going to go in along the left-hand side of the sheet. You can see all your stats that are out there. Yeah, your phone out there. Perfect. And it'll fill out all this for you. And then where do you want to put your 12, 10, and 8? The 8 being probably the most telling.
The 12 we'll put. You don't get a dexterity bonus for heavy armor, right?
Your dexterity isn't penalized with armor up to a certain point. But yeah, generally this character is not going to get any benefit. You just don't want a penalty for your dex.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be relying on chain armor and what have you. Yeah, it maxes out at 2 once you start wearing medium armor, and you're not going to get a bonus higher than 2 with the stats you have left. So nothing to worry about there.
Then I'll go and put the 12 in dexterity.
Okay, cool. There you go. And that'll give you a bonus to missile weapons, which is useful because you never know when you can just sling somebody to death.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we'll put the what's the next number?
You got a 10 and an 8. Is your dwarf smarter than they are charismatic, or vice versa?
I think we'll be smarter than charismatic.
Okay. Cool. So 10 intelligence and an 8 charisma.
Yeah.
Perfect. Cool. So you've already got your class sorted out in there, and it will have modified your saving throws. So you got wisdom and charisma as your base saving throws. Mm-hmm. So now we can start filling in the information for your characters for your race. So I can tell you all the cool shit you get for being a dwarf. So the dwarves, especially hill dwarves, get a +2 to their constitution. So go ahead and raise your con up to 15. So that's cool. You start with a speed of 25. So you're a little slower than average speed being 30, and that's middle column top right of your character sheet.
Okay, got it.
Okay, and then you under, I think it's called traits, features and traits, so the bottom right box. Make a note that you have dark vision, and that goes out to a range of 60 feet. So up to 60 feet away from you, you treat dim light as if it was bright light, and if you are in total darkness, it's as if it was dim light, so you see shades of gray. Okay. And then I think in the same section, you can note that you have Dwarven Resilience. And what Dwarven Resilience gives you is advantage on saving throws against poison and resistance to poison damage. You can note as much or as little of that as you'd like. Okay, cool. So more hardiness. As a dwarf, you are proficient with the following weapons. And I think, there's an area in the bottom left called Other Proficiencies and Languages. So just by merit of being a dwarf, you're proficient with the battle axe, the hand axe, a throwing hammer, and the war hammer. Yeah. Fine dwarven weapons.
Very nice.
And then in tool proficiencies, which is just above it, go ahead and click that plus. We'll add a new tool proficiency. And you're going to have to make a choice. Is your dwarf proficient with smith's tools, brewer's supplies, or mason's tools? So do you want to be able to make stuff out of metal? Do you want to make beer, or do you want to be able to make stonecraft?
Let's go smithing tools.
Okay, cool. So you can add smith's tools to that. And the smith's tools are based on your strength. Okay. Yeah, so you can just add in that attribute of strength. Perfect. Cool. All right. So you got smith's tools. That's good. And then back under features and traits, you have stone cunning. So stone cunning is the dwarven ability to recognize different stonecraft, its historical and cultural significance. You got like a art history degree in sculpture, basically.
Awesome.
And that allows you to make, you're always considered proficient in the history skill, whether you have it or not. And as it relates to stonework. So basically you can just put under stone cunning, like history proficiency.
Okay.
It'll give you a bonus. And then lastly, for being a dwarf, back under other proficiencies and languages, you're proficient in Common and Dwarvish.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. And then as a hill dwarf, your wisdom increases by 1, so this will bump you up to your 16. And your hit point maximum will increase by 1. So you'll always get 1 extra hit point. You can put that under features and traits. It's called Dwarven Toughness. So whenever you either roll or take an amount of hit points for your level, when you gain a level, you get 1 more than you normally would.
Awesome.
Yeah, which adds up with your Constitution bonus. Cool. All right. So that's dwarf stuff. Let's start filling out your class information. So as a cleric, kind of the first thing that you want to choose is you can go about this one of 2 ways. So I sent over a list to you of the various gods of the setting and kind of what they're about.
Mm-hmm.
So you can either choose one of the gods, and then we can talk about what their divine domains might be, or you can choose a domain that you like, and then we can pick a god that fits that.
I was definitely leaning towards life domain.
Life domain? Okay, cool. So yeah, that makes sense. Totally. If you want to be a dedicated healer, the life domain is the way to go. So I think the life domain likely would be tied to, in this setting, the Empress, or strength, or temperance. Temperance especially. Temperance is the arcana of health. So any of those 3.
I think temperance would be best.
Temperance? Okay, cool. So you're a servant of temperance. And for this stuff, if you want to, you can, under bio on your character sheet, you can make a note of like the god that you follow. There's a bunch of different notes here, allies and organizations and stuff.
Okay.
You can make a note there. So what that'll do is it'll allow you access to the life domain. Cool. Okay. So as a cleric, you're going to get, at first level, 8 hit points plus your Constitution modifier plus your Dwarven toughness. So that's 11 hit points, I think.
Okay.
Cool. Under hit dice, you have a D8. So hit dice are what you roll when your character rests. Right now, you just have 1 of them. So if you take a short rest, your character takes a breather, and you get to roll a D8, and you'll get hit points back as a result of that. And as your level goes up, you'll add more dice to that pool, so you can spend them when you rest.
Okay.
Okay. Now, under proficiencies, you'll get some proficiencies for your class. So some more weapons and some armor. So we'll do weapons first, because you've already got that list started. Okay. You are, in addition to your dwarven weapons, you're proficient with all simple weapons.
Okay. So
these are all weapons that don't require too much training to use. Things like flails or staves, weapons that kind of anybody could pick up and wield with a effect. And then for armor, you're proficient with light armor and medium armor, and with shields. So those 3 are allowed to you. Now for your character's skills, this stage and the background stage will be where we determine what particular skills your character has. You'll get to add your proficiency bonus to these when you roll. So I'll give you a list, and you're going to pick 2 of these. Okay. So you're going to pick 2 of history, insight, medicine, persuasion, and religion. History obviously is a knowledge skill. It's tied to what your character knows about the past of the world. Insight is how well you can read other people. So if I'm playing a shifty thief, and I'm telling you about the location of some treasure, you might roll insight to see if I'm trying to lie to you or lead you into a trap. So it's how you read people. Medicine, useful skill, especially for a cleric. You can use it when all your spells are expended to keep people from dying. Persuasion is convincing NPCs to do what you want. And then religion is your character's sort of dogmatic knowledge of both your own religion and the other religions in the world.
All right. I think we'll go with medicine and religion.
Good stuff. All right. So put a check next to those 2, and it'll automatically do all the math for you. Okay. You start with the following equipment. So you have to do some more answering of questions. Would you prefer a mace or a warhammer?
Let's go Warhammer.
Okay, yeah, because you're trained in it because you're a dwarf. So to add this in your equipment under item name, you can go ahead and just hit the plus sign to add a new slot if you don't have one already. And then in the info section, the SRD in the compendium, just search for Warhammer. And when it comes up, should be the second one on the list. You can just click and drag the name Warhammer right into your inventory, and that will adjust your encumbrance, and it'll add an attack type for you automatically based on the weapon. Cool. Okay. There you go. So to use your Warhammer, you got a +4 to hit, and you deal 1d8 +2 bludgeoning damage when you strike, and it only weighs 2 pounds. So you got lots more encumbrance to go.
Awesome.
Okay, so you're going to choose some armor now. You can have a free suit of scale mail, leather armor, or chainmail if you are proficient, which I don't think that you are. I think it's heavier than you can wear.
I think life gets a heavy proficiency at level 1. Correctly.
Yeah, keep you alive, huh? Oh yeah, you sure do. Yeah, go ahead and add heavy armor, and if you want to, you can take chainmail.
I'll take the chainmail.
Perfect, and you can do exactly the same thing with the chainmail. Just click and drag from the compendium, and it'll update your armor class and fill out the sheet for you. Okay. It's very cool. Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense, right? Like you want to keep other people alive, you got to keep yourself alive first.
Yeah, kind of got to be tanky to heal as well.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you don't want to just drop at the first sign of danger. Cool. All right. So the next thing we need to do before we go on to spells, you get a few more pieces of equipment. So you're going to get, let's see. Here we go. You'll get a light crossbow and 20 bolts or any other simple weapon.
I think we'll go with the crossbow.
Go with the crossbow? Okay, cool. So same thing. Just go ahead and add it and drag it over. Okay, I'm going to check and see if the Explorer's Pack... Oh, yeah, they are. Perfect. Okay. So you can have one of two of these packs. You can have an Explorer's Pack or a Priest's Pack. The Explorer's Pack has a bunch of kind of generic dungeon crawling gear like water skin, rope, rations, bedroll, mess kit, stuff like that, like kind of like a generic traveler's kit. And then the Priest's Pack is more like ritual stuff like candles, an alms box, incense, censer, one of those like incense burners on a chain. So if you're thinking of your character as a sort of more pragmatic, like traveling cleric, the Explorer's Pack might work. But if you're more looking at being focused on the cleric-y side of things, and you want to have the trappings of a priest, the Priest Pack is the choice you want to go with.
I think we go with the Explorer's Pack.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so a little more down to earth, a little more practical, which is fine. Okay, and then you also get a shield and a holy symbol.
Okay.
And don't worry about that little encumbered flag. I'm going to go ahead and just turn that off because we're not going to use the encumbrance the way the sheet has it. There you go.
Okay.
Cool. So yeah, just add your shield and add your holy symbol, and it'll recalculate your AC for you, which should at this point be quite high. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, 18 AC, not bad. Yeah, that 12 dex actually really helps out here because it bumps you up one more. So you have the shield, you have dex that's not held back by your armor, and you have the toughest armor you can wear right now. So yeah, you're gonna be hard to take apart, which is exactly what you want. Cool. Okay. So I think we can move on to doing your class features, and then we'll talk about backgrounds.
Okay.
So at first level, and you don't have to pick these right now. You'll just need to have them ready for the first session. If you go over to your spells tab on your sheet,
yep,
you can see some selections there of like different items. Now you're going to add 3 cantrips of your choice to the sheet. These are cantrips that you know, and you can cast them basically over and over. There's no penalty. You cast them; they don't leave your mind. They're just prayers you can make repeatedly. And just like the equipment, you can search through the SRD for particular cantrips. So if you know what you want, or you just want to look through them, they're in there, and you can click and drag them into the slots you've created.
Okay.
So you'll get 3 cantrips of your choice, and then you're going to have a number of spells that you can prepare for first level. So let's see, you've got 2 spell slots for first level, which means you can cast 2 spells per rest basically, and then you can prepare cleric spells equal to your level plus your wisdom modifier, which should be 3 or 4 at this point.
Our modifier is 3, I think.
Yeah, so modifier plus your level, so 4. Cool. So in the same way, you'll pick 3 cantrips and 4 spells you want to prepare. But every time you rest, you can prepare new spells. So eventually, you'll just keep adding them to this list as you go.
Cool. So each level, I can cast any of those 4, but only cast 2 spells.
That's right. Yeah. In between, and you can cast them. Basically, you get those spell slots back every time you take a long rest. So it's an 8-hour period of rest. With some prayer involved, and temperance will return to you your ability to cast spells, and then you can cast any 2 of the 4 you've prepared, and those numbers will both go up as you level.
Awesome.
Cool. Okay, so I'll let you figure those out in between. But back on the core section of your sheet, you're gonna want to just make a note under your abilities that you have. We know you can cast spells. You can add ritual casting. So some spells don't take up a slot, but you can cast them in a 10-minute time span. So if you have time to stop and wait and do the long form of the prayer, you can cast some spells that have the ritual component. And then you have your life domain. So right now, life gives you bless and cure wounds as your domain spells. And your domain spells are special because they don't require preparation. You basically always have those 2 spells prepared. So this way you never have to worry about oops, didn't memorize cure wounds.
Yeah, that frees up slots for other things.
That's right. Yeah, you'll always have bless and cure wounds available to you. So those are added to your list, and then we already noted your heavy armor proficiency, and you are a disciple of life, which means your healing spells always add 2 plus the spell's level in additional hit points whenever you heal.
Awesome.
So that's great. Even your lesser spells will cause a significant amount of healing. Cool. All right. So let's find out what your character did before they were an adventurer. So you're going to choose a background. Have you had a chance to figure out what background you want?
Yes.
Nice. Okay. Which one did you decide on?
It was the first one, the raised in a monastery.
Cool. Oh yeah, you're an acolyte. So you're like a career
acolyte.
priest.
That's the one. Excellent.
Okay, cool. So as an acolyte, you are going to get, so you can put this under background, top right of the first page. You're going to get insight as a skill, and then religion. But since you already chose religion, you can choose another one from your cleric list. So as a cleric, do you want to take history, insight, or persuasion instead?
Let's go history.
Okay, cool. All right. And then you're going to get any 2 languages you want. So languages that might be of use, right? Like most people speak Common. Obviously, you and all other dwarves raised in dwarven communities speak Dwarvish. We will encounter elves, so Elvish is an option. You could take Orcish or Goblin. There's lots of different options. Do you have any in mind particularly that you want to take? You want to be able to speak?
Elvish, definitely.
Okay. And
what's another very common race again?
I would say like the halflings don't have their own language; they speak Common. Yeah, I would go with one of the kind of like goblinoid races. So like a goblin, because goblin covers either orcish or goblin, because goblin covers like hobgoblins and bugbears and regular goblins, and like there's a whole family of languages that you could speak if you speak
All right,
goblin.
we'll go goblin then.
Okay, wicked. Okay, cool. And then for equipment, you get if you don't already have one, you get a holy symbol, which you have already, I believe.
Okay.
You get a prayer book or prayer wheel. You'll get 5 sticks of incense. Ooh, exciting.
That sounds awesome.
You will have your priestly vestments. So vestments. You also have common clothes. And you'll get 15. This is the important one. You get 15 gold. So that's an amount that you'll start with. Now, you also, as an acolyte, and this is a cool one, as an acolyte, you have a feature. You can add this to your, like under Disciple of Life. You have a feature called Shelter of the Faithful. And basically, you perform religious ceremonies. So if you go into a town, and this actually fits really nicely with the character's background, right? Like when you as magistrates of the Court of Swords arrive in a town, as the cleric, it'll be your job to perform rituals of temperance. So if people need mediation, they need a doctor, maybe the town doesn't have its own doctor, you'll be able to perform both the practical side of that and the ritual side. So, expect people to be like, bless my baby, and marry us and stuff. And this is the thing that allows you. And in response, you and your companions, as long as they behave themselves, can receive free healing and care at a temple, shrine, or other established presence of your faith. And in this case, too, like other arcana that are aligned with yours. So at a shrine to temperance, you can ask the resident priest, like, I need healing or rest or sanctuary in some way, and they'll do that for you.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's really useful coming from that background. Okay, cool. So you got your background, you got all that sorted out. You're going to get some additional gold, but rather than sit here while we go shopping, I'll let you spend it as you like.
Okay.
Familiar with the character sheet now, but let's find out how much you start with as a cleric. So we all know how well paid priests are.
Yeah.
Let's see. You start. Oh, I think actually everybody just starts with a certain amount. Let's find out. Choose equipment. Here we go. Recording this equipment. Oh, instead of taking the gear. I see. Okay, so the fast way is just to do it this way. Perfect. I think we'll do that with everybody for their first character. So you don't have to worry about it. You got that 15 gold you can spend if you want to. There's a spot on your character sheet to keep track of it on the left of your inventory. So like CP, SP, EP.
Oh, I see. Gold.
Yeah, you can record gold there. So you can go ahead and spend that on whatever other stuff that you think that you need. Feel free to buy anything that's in the player's handbook.
Okay.
And then lastly, there are a couple of things that we're gonna deviate slightly from in the player's handbook. So there's some Court of Swords specific things. So normally your character to get inspiration, to sort of the RP reward, normally to get that you would use your personality traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws. These are ways that D&D gives you to kind of like negotiate your character, but it's very hand wavy and very kind of like, it puts the responsibility on the GM to remember every single one of those. And if I forget, then you're going to miss out on inspiration. So I've made a change to the way that works. And we're replacing those things with two things instead. And you can record these basically anywhere on your character sheet you want, somewhere on the second page, probably. Okay. So you're going to record your character's drive and your character's history. And these are basically like just one sentence things that your character carries around with you. And as you perform actions in the game, if you are pursuing your drive, then it'll charge your inspiration, and then you can discharge it to get advantage on a roll. Or if you show us, like as an audience, something about your character's history, that'll also charge your inspiration. So generally these are like one sentence things. So like drive could be like, I want, or I need, or I've sworn to, something that your character is like driven to do. It could be as simple as I will fulfill my duty to the Court of Swords, or it might be I will find the priest that taught me everything I know and then went missing. And then your history, again, is like a statement. It doesn't have to be your whole backstory. It's just a focal point that you're interested in right now. And at the beginning of every session, if you find you're tired of your drive or your character is just not driven that way anymore, you can change it.
Awesome.
Yeah. So do you have any ideas for what you want your drive or history to be?
Yes. My character's family was wiped out by necromancers back in the day.
Oh,
so he wants to either stomp out necromancy.
That's really good. Okay. So your drive could be, I like stomp out necromancy. That's great. So in this setting, the raising of the dead and the fiddling with their corpses for really any purpose is considered very not okay. The dead are sacred. And necromancers are reviled as servants of the demons called the Mara. And definitely it's part of your job to wipe out necromancers, but you take that shit personal like.
Oh yeah.
And then your history. Is that, what do you want? Do you want that to be also part of the kind of quest thing, or is there some other thing that happened to you in the past that you want to use?
Yeah. I was raised I was orphaned, and the monastery I was raised in took me in after they wiped out the necromancers that were there. Like, they responded a little too late, and my family got murdered, and they found me left alone, and they adopted me to the monastery.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. So even just something as like, I was an orphan raised in a monastery, that can be your history. And if you do a thing that shows some facet of that, or like you have a conversation with an NPC that shows something about your character's history and that particular part of it, then you'll get to charge your inspiration.
Awesome.
Cool. And then also we'll generate bonds. Which uses the tarot deck to create connections between characters, but we'll wait and do that at the very beginning of the first session.
Okay.
So do it as a group because you'll want to talk to Max and JP about what theirs are. And then you also will choose one of the 5 alignments. So instead of the usual D&D alignments, we're using elements instead. So do you know which one you want?
I was leaning towards air.
Air, cool. All right. Yeah, air is the element of the Court of Swords, and people who are of the air alignment tend to do well in that culture. So you're in line with the people you work for. Awesome. So airs association are thought, mental power, communication, travel, abstract thinking, teaching, and divination, happiness, beginnings. It's a fairly positive element, and it shows that your character, to some degree or another, despite his or her tragic past, has some hope to it as well. Cool. All right. So let me take a quick look over your character sheet. You can go ahead and put in your background and alignment whenever you're ready there. All I think that remains is filling out your spells and spending that whopping 15 experience you got when you left the monastery.
Hell yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I will leave you to do that on your own merit. Of course, if you have any questions, let me know. We'll review at the beginning of the first session. And then, of course, the I guess cherry on the proverbial character sundae. Do you have a name for your character yet?
Yes. Baern Hillstern.
Nice. All right, Baern. Well, I am excited to see how it's going to be your job to keep Max and JP alive, and I do not envy you that task. But
I will try my best.
With 18 armor class and some bonus hit points, I think you got a good start. Excellent. Cool. So we'll catch up with Baern and the other characters when we get started with Court of Swords.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Hello, patrons. Thank you again for your pledge and welcome to the Court of Swords. I am joined by Gassy Mexican, one of our magistrates of the court, and we're going to make a character. But first, I just wanted to ask you a little bit about your history with the D&Ds. Gassy.
Yeah, the D&Ds. I'm not somebody that grew up playing D&D all their life. I wish I did, because I didn't really know anybody that did, play D&D. So it's kind of like a regret of mine, but got into it with what's it called? I can't even remember the name of the other one. With Shalbaz, and the whole West Marches and stuff, and that was really, really cool. Before that, I did a little bit of Pathfinder and stuff with just real life friends, so that was really fun. But Shalbaz was more of a really fun character. I kind of played like a monk the first time I did it in Pathfinder. It was kind of boring. But now I'm like interested in just creating like different characters. Who knows if I'll do a good job, but yeah, it's one of those things I've, found more as an adult through like other nerdy friends, just in the gaming community. And now I'm kind of hooked.
Totally. Yeah. I think, even more so for people probably a little older than us, but I think definitely D&D used to be, when it first came out, like a thing that like kids did, but I know more adults now that play D&D than.
Or just like really frowned upon and like, ooh, they're Satan worshipers, right? Like that
totally. You're either a nerd or a Satanist or a satanic nerd.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we've escaped that period of time, and now here we are, ready to make your character for Court of Swords. Mm-hmm. So you're gonna be the violent one. You're gonna be the damage dealer of the party. It looks like. So you're looking to be a rogue. Yes.
A rogue, yes.
Sneaky, excellent.
Sneaky.
Cool. And we talked a little bit before, but you're gonna go with the Genasi for your race.
Yeah, the Genasi.
Cool. Which
fire
flavor?
Genasi.
Yes, awesome. Cool. So
a slight smell of brimstone, apparently, to me. Sometimes.
Yeah. So the court of swords, they are aligned with the element of air. So there are fewer fire genasi that live in this part of the world than the other kinds, and there are certainly some people who look down on you as a lesser form of genasi.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is your character? Do you think were they born in the court of swords and happen to live here? Are they basically foreign people that were born stateside, or were you born somewhere else and came here? Because the court of wands is where the fire genasi are kind of considered the nobility.
Oh, interesting. I think I wasn't born here. I wasn't born here. I like the idea of being kind of like looked down upon a little bit, because my character tends to want to prove himself a little bit.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah. Kind of chip on the shoulder, I guess.
Cool. Good. Yeah. So despite not being a born citizen of the Court of Swords, you've been hired into the ranks of the magistrates of the court, and they've been sending you out with the other characters to fight monsters and take care of the people of the court. So to do that, you're gonna need to figure out your character's abilities and whatnot. So
sure.
The first thing we need to do is figure out your stats. So do you want to gamble with the gods of chaos? Do you want to roll for your stats, or do you want to take the array?
This is
it's a terrifying.
It's so much more exciting to roll though. Like it could be horrible.
I mean, the variance is going to be whether or not you get you're going to put your biggest stat into Dex probably, and it's going to be a question of whether you have a +4 or a +3 or a +2. Like, there's never going to be a variance of more than a couple of points. But at level 1, lucking into like a 17 or an 18 is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
So
I'll roll. We'll just
you're gonna roll. You're gonna do it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, gambler.
It's more interesting.
So in Roll20, I'll give you a little macro that you can roll. You're gonna do this 6 times. In the rolling box, the little box in the bottom right corner. Put in /R.
Shit. Hold on. /R.
And then a space.
Yep.
3D6 K3. And what this is going to do, 4D6 K3, because you're rolling 4 and keeping the high as 3.
46 K3. Okay.
46 K3. Yep. You'll roll that. It'll give you a number, and then you'll do that 5 more times, and those will be your stats, and we'll arrange them and then modify them by your character's.
Okay.
So you can, once you've hit enter the first time, you can hit up, and it'll just redo the macro for you. So have at her. Good luck.
Okay.
Okay. So you got a 14.
Not too bad out the gate. Another one.
9. Okay. Could be worse. Could be better. Another 14. Okay. Slightly better than average guy.
I can deal with it right now.
Okay. Good.
Is this last one?
You get 2 more.
2 more. Okay.
Yeah. This is a pretty impressive 10. Yep.
And
hey, there you go. Cool.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. So these will become your ability scores.
Okay.
And you can record them on your character sheet in the left hand column. You'll put them in the little ovals. The stats will adjust accordingly. So as a rogue, the suggestions for the rogue, obviously, is you put your highest stat into dexterity.
Dex. So that 15 is probably going to be Dex.
Yeah, I would suggest putting your 15 in Dex.
I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
And then your second highest, the suggestion that the game makes is, I think, Strength, but really kind of however you see your character, because they're all useful.
Yeah. Constitution, intelligence.
So if you go with Strength, it means that your hits with strength-based weapons are going to deal more damage. But as a rogue, you're going to be using finesse weapons, so you can pick to use Dex on them.
Yeah.
Strength is not bad.
I got multiple 14s. I got 2 14s, so I think throwing 1 14 into strength makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Intelligence is also really useful because rogues have lots of skills, and many of the skills in the game are based on intelligence. You're also going to get an intelligence bonus as an air genasi. So
nice. Constitution though, so many times.
So your con, the genasi are
you got to do it.
The genasi are tough folk, so you're going to get a +2 to whatever you put in Constitution.
Oh, okay. It was really just up to me whether or not I want more Constitution or intelligence. You know what? I'm going to go with intelligence because my character he fancies himself pretty intelligent. He expects wit and intellect.
Yeah, and as a rogue, it's a smart thing to have a bonus in. And plus with a high intelligence later, if you want to pick up a level of like wizard or sorcerer, having a high intelligence will be useful.
Sure.
Wizard especially.
In general too, I'm just going to say, since I am fairly new to D&D and stuff like that, and I haven't logged so much time, sorry in advance if I fuck up anything or
totally
questions.
Yeah, it's fine. Cool. Okay, so have you got your stats in the sheet?
Okay, so 14, 14, 15. We have 12, 9, and a 10, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I'm going to put 12 into Constitution.
Okay.
Go 10 into Charisma.
Okay.
And then Wisdom will be the 9.
Slightly more charismatic than you are wise. Okay. Yeah. So now we'll do the adjustments for the genasi. So add 2 to your Constitution. So that goes up to 14.
Add 2 to my Constitution?
Yep.
14. All right. Boom.
And then add another 1 to your intelligence.
1 to intelligence.
Yeah. So you're as smart, you're as quick-witted as you are quick.
Quick-witted as I am quick. I like it.
Okay. All right. So let's finish off with your race. So in the bottom left corner of your character sheet, there's an area that says other proficiencies and languages.
Yeah.
You can speak. So you put in these 2 languages, Common and Primordial.
How do you spell Primordial?
Primordial.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just want to be sure.
It's the funny thing about playing Dungeons and Dragons. Your whole life, you learn how to spell and pronounce words that no person would ever need to know how to spell.
Exactly right. I mean, that's how I thought it was spelled, but I don't. Rather get it right.
Totally. Yeah.
Plus, that's a word you don't really you hear it a bunch, but you don't ever type it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very often.
It's not a common word to be used. Yeah.
Primordial.
Okay. So those are the languages you speak. Primordial is the language. It's a language that predates the civilizations of the world. It's spoken by elemental powers like the Jinn and by elemental lords and stuff. It's also spoken by JP. So if you and JP want to have a conversation, the Dan's character doesn't understand.
Nice.
You're good
I like it. I like it. Also, should I say, I realize I haven't even said who my character's name is. Should I say that?
We'll save it for the end.
Save it for the end? No worries.
That's usually where we end up. Because most of the time, it's funny watching people develop their idea for characters, because some people will be like, oh, I want to be a rogue, or I want to be an elf. Mm-hmm. And then they work up and then I'm like, okay, what's their name? And they're like, oh, I didn't even think of that. But then
thought of it.
Other people think of their name and their background and stuff, and then fill in the mechanics around.
I don't have everything figured out, but I'm trying to free flow with them. But also, I think it's going to be an interesting character. I like him.
Yeah. It's cool.
It's going to be huge.
So you get a couple more cool abilities as a genasi. If you click into the features and traits box, it's
sure. Right. Second, features and traits.
Yeah. So as a fire genasi, you have dark vision, and that's up to a range of 60 feet. So you can put dark vision in 60 feet in brackets. Okay. So that means your ties to the elemental plane of fire I mean that everything you see in darkness is a shade of red.
Ooh, I like it.
And then under that, put that you have fire resistance.
Fire resist. Ugh.
So you take half damage from all fire sources. So if I'm like, he hits you with a fireball, you take 10 damage. You're like, actually, I take 5.
Nice.
So hugely useful there. And then you have an ability called Reach to the Blaze.
Reach to the blaze. I like it.
Yeah, so you can blaze it.
Blaze it up, yeah. Keep it lit.
You get the Produce Flame cantrip. So whenever you want, just at your whim, your character can produce fire from nothing. So I'm just going to add it to your. I'm just going to add it to your spells.
I was like, what did I hit?
Yeah. Cool. Let me add that in for you. There you go. So now, whenever you want to, you can produce flame. You've noticed on your attack, you have a new attack called Produce Flame. So if you ever need to conjure up a little ball of fire to throw at somebody,
yeah,
you're good to go. So Produce Flame, that's the thing you can do. Later at higher levels, your Reach to the Blaze will allow you to cast Burning Hands, but not right now.
Become better and one with the blaze, the ways of blazing.
The ways of blazing. Yeah, cool. So that's good. Now let's talk about what you get for being a rogue. So as a rogue, your character is going to be about skill and precision. You're going to be the knife in the dark, right?
Yeah.
Your character is going to have lots of skills. You're going to be able to be stealthy, and rather than say like approaching an enemy head on, you want to look for opportunities to strike from the shadows and to attack when they're busy fighting your friends. And that'll allow you to use some of your abilities. So you're going to first of all, we're going to record your hit points. So for hit point maximum, it's the middle column. You can see.
Wait, where am I seeing this?
Should be on the
current hit points. Yep.
Core page. Yep. So you get 8 hit points plus your Constitution modifier. So you got 10 hit points, both current and maximum right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, current and maximum. What? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Hit point maximum above is just your total.
There as well. Yep.
Yeah.
Got it.
2 boxes down, you can see where it says hit dice.
Mm-hmm.
In total, put 1d8.
1d8.
Yeah. And then underneath for hit dice, just put the number 1. That's how many you have available to you right now. Now we're going to give you your character's proficiencies. So again, back to the bottom left where you put common and primordial.
Mm-hmm.
On the next line, you can put light armor.
On the next line down, what?
Yeah, just like hit enter after primordial.
Yeah.
And add in light armor.
Okay.
Put in on the next line after that, I'll give you your weapons. So you can use this is going to be a list. So you can use simple weapons. Let me know when you're ready to move on to the next one. I'll write them down.
Spelled simple wrong, apparently, because I'm dumb.
Sample weapons.
There you go.
Okay. So simple weapons, hand crossbow. Shoots little pencil-sized darts at people. You can use longsword.
Okay.
You can use rapier.
Can you spell like that?
Rapiers.
RS. Rapiers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And then short sword. So those are the weapons that you can use.
Cool.
Okay. Above that box, there's a box called tool proficiencies.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you're going to record the kinds of tools your character can use. And as a rogue, you gain access to thieves' tools. So hit the plus sign.
Yeah.
That'll add in a new tool proficiency. And then set it, just type in thieves' tools. And thieves' tools is based on dexterity. So if it says, like, it should default to strength, but change that to dexterity.
Strength changes to dexterity.
Yeah, that's right. Your attribute. Perfect. And then go ahead and click the gear and that'll close it out. So your thieves tool proficiency is for every time you need to pick a lock or cut someone's purse, all of this stuff will be using those tools and you use that proficiency.
Cool.
Your saving throws are already sorted out for you. And now you're going to choose 4 of the following skills. It's going to be kind of a long list. So let me know if you need to.
I know stealth is on that list. So stealth is one of them already.
Okay. So acrobatics, athletics, deception, insight, intimidation, investigation, perception, performance, persuasion, sleight of hand, and everybody's favorite, stealth.
Right. The stealth, definitely.
Stealth for sure. Okay. Sleight of hand is for pocketing coins, doing card tricks, sneaking weapons into places they don't belong. Acrobatics is for, doing cool backflips and landing safely if you fall a long distance. Athletics is like lifting and pushing and dragging, stuff like that. Deception is for lying. Insight is for knowing if other people are lying. Intimidation is for bossing people around. Investigation and perception are for taking time to like look at a scene and figuring things out and just noticing stuff respectively. Yeah. Persuasion is getting people to do what you want. Mm-hmm. So you get 3 more on top of stealth.
Should I be like clicking? Should I check stealth?
Yeah, check the boxes. Yep, and that'll give you your
stealth. Stealth. Perception, since I have a negative because of wisdom.
Yep. Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
And shit. Okay, acrobatics. I kind of want sleight of hand, but especially since I have like a bonus in that already. Boost it up even more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really useful to just be really good at the things you're already good at.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go sleight of hand.
Okay, you'll get a few more. You'll get a few more skills in a bit too. So.
Yeah, and then I think I'm gonna go acrobatics.
Perfect. Yeah, all very useful rogue skills. All right, so let's do your. You get 3 more special abilities. These will go under your features and traits. So you get sneak attack. It's the rogue special. So put sneak attack, and then in brackets put 1d6.
1d6.
Okay. So just a couple of quick rules about sneak attack, and we'll review it when you're actually using it in the game. But the sneak attack allows you to deal an extra d6 damage to a creature you hit on an attack in which you have advantage for whatever reason. So if you have advantage on an attack, you get to do an extra d6 damage because it's a sneak attack, as long as that weapon is a finesse weapon or a ranged attack. Okay. So you can't sneak attack with a battle axe or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Like a rapier or a short sword or a short.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, you know what you're doing. Cool, and that'll go up as you gain levels, that damage. The other thing is you don't need to have advantage on the attack roll if someone else is also fighting that person with you. So if JP's barbarian charges in and attacks someone and you attack the same target, you can always do your sneak attack damage. It doesn't matter if you have advantage.
Nice.
Yeah, so you basically, the party is failing if you're attacking an enemy by yourself.
Yeah.
It's going to be on them to like set it up. Under languages, next to primordial, throw another comma on there because you get a special rogue language called Thieves' Cant.
Okay.
Spelled as you would imagine, it's like can't but minus the apostrophe. And this is a secret mix of dialect, jargon, and code that allows you to hide messages in seemingly normal conversation for other ne'er-do-wells to pick up. So it's things like, tugging on your earlobe or coughing at a certain time and using like rhyming slang so that the man can't pick up that you're actually talking about how you're going to rob somebody.
I like it. So I'm basically like signaling people like I would say like a second base or first base coachman. Like
yeah. But the idea is that it's subtle enough that it would blend in with normal conversation. Someone might be like, oh, that's a funny way to say that. But they, most of the time, unless they're familiar with Thieves' Cant, they don't pick that up.
Right. So, okay. So it's like very, very subtle kind of way of, okay.
So the last thing you have is expertise, and this allows you to pick 2 of your skill proficiencies or 1 skill and your thieves tools, and it will give you another +2 bonus to them. So what are your 2? What do you think your 2 most important skills that your character has? What do you want to boost up? And then I'll add expertise to them.
Okay. Under skills right now is where I'm looking.
Yeah, any of the 4 you've got checked, or 1 of those and your thieves tools.
Okay. I think in stealth, he's a rogue, right? Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then probably perception.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, despite your character's unwise nature, you've practiced like looking and listening, and like you've gone over this. Yeah. That's really cool. All right, so I'll add that
to his kind of drive.
There we go. Okay, so your perception and stealth. Your stealth is now +6, so that's pretty good. And your perception is +3. All right, let's give you some equipment. So, like we did with Produce Flame, for each of these pieces of equipment, we're gonna let the sheet auto-generate some stuff.
Sure.
So each one of these, under item name, you'll click the plus to create a spot. You can search for the name of the item in the compendium and then just drag it over.
Okay.
And I will find what your options are. I think the first is your weapon. Yeah. So you can either have a rapier or a short sword.
Okay.
Difference being,
rapier's like what was that rapier again? I can't remember.
So rapier is like a long, piercing sword. It's a finesse weapon.
Right.
It's like Errol Flynn, right? Like the long thin blade. You don't slash with, you stab. It's like a fencing weapon.
Okay.
It deals 1d8 damage, so pretty good damage. And then a short sword is like a gladius, like a Roman gladiator sword, short, used for stabbing, easier to hide.
It's a sword.
Yeah, it's a sword. It's a stabbing sword. And it only deals 1d6, but it's a light weapon, so you can use it in your offhand.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm gonna go with the rapier.
So you can go with rapier? Okay, cool. So yeah, go ahead and search for rapier and drag it into a new slot on your
cool.
Sorry. That'll auto add it to your weapons.
Got it. I don't need it. Obviously, just the basic one, right? It's not the plus one.
Yeah. If I ever give you a magic rapier, then you can go and upgrade.
Yay! I like it. I have forgotten how to do this already.
Oh, it's okay. So there's a little plus.
Over into the slot, and it's not.
You got to open the slot first. So there's a little plus sign in equipment, and once you've opened a blank slot, then you can drag it. It'll turn yellow, and then it should add it in.
Okay, so I've created a new slot.
What's
yellow?
Oh, I see. You're adding a new weapon slot. It's down below. It's in the equipment.
Oh, I'm dumb. Equipment.
Yeah, it'll automatically generate the weapon slot for you. You're doing the right thing in the wrong place.
Yeah, got it. Rapier. Boom.
Bam. Done and done. Perfect. Okay. So the rapier is now in, and it's already grabbing your correct stats. So that's great. Okay, now do you want a short bow and 20 arrows or a short sword? Now, the benefit to the short sword would be you can use it in your offhand, so you can fight with both the rapier and the short sword.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
But if you take the short bow, you can shoot arrows at people. However, if you want a missile weapon, you can always produce fire and throw it at people. So
that's true. And also, I can always get another. I can get a short bow pretty much anywhere, I would imagine.
Yes, you could always wait and get a short bow as well. You can always buy a sword too, right? Like
true. Yeah, that's really just what I want to start with. I think I'm gonna go with the short sword as well, just so I can do that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
With that exact noise too.
I hope so. All right. So you're going the swashbuckler route. So yeah, go ahead and just add in a short sword. It'll add it in there, and then you'll have that as your second weapon.
Wait, I haven't decided. I'm having an internal conflict right now.
You can throw tiny fires at people. What do you need a missile at?
That's true. You're very true right now. Okay.
And it's cool.
Fires.
Either of these you'll be able to pick up as you go. Plus, you'll end up with a little bit of extra gold, so you might be able to buy.
So short sword.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so go ahead and search that. Drag it into a new slot.
I think. Wait, I did something wrong. I made it stupid.
It's okay. Open up a new.
I think it's Roll20 being like weird because it shows the box like hovered over it, but it's just stuck there.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm trying to close it out of the character sheet and then
back in. Go ahead and close your character sheet.
Okay. Here
as well.
Right here. Boop. Yeah, it's still there. That's weird.
Okay. Let me
try it again though. I think it's just like let me see. Let me see if I can just drag it anyways. Short.
Yeah, if it's still giving me trouble, I'll just drag it in for you.
I guess.
There it is. All right, cool. Okay. So these are all sorted out for you. So now what you need to do is decide what kind of pack you want. You get one of these three: a burglar's pack, a dungeoneer's pack, or an explorer's pack. So explorer's pack is general kind of overland supplies like a bedroll and flint and tinder for making fires, food and water, like journeying stuff. A Dungeoneer's pack is more like underground stuff. So like a lantern or a torch, some rations, things for surviving underground, like rope. And then a burglar's pack is your pack for stealing shit. So items that would be useful for those things. They're all in the SRD if you want to take a look at the individual ones, but you get to pick one of those three.
Okay.
To act as your...
You already have thieves' tools, right? In general. What would be the benefit of that?
Let me see. I'll read the
burglar's pack.
I'll read the burglar's pack contents for you. So backpack, 1,000 ball bearings, 10 feet of string, a bell, 5 candles, a crowbar, a hammer, 10 pythons, which are like spikes. Hooded lantern, 2 flasks of oil, 5 days of ration, tinderbox, water skin, and 50 feet of rope.
I like the rope. The one was explorers.
That's the burglar's pack. Man, bag of 1,000 ball bearings is nice if people are chasing you.
Yeah. I think I'm just gonna go with the burglar's pack.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So just open a slot in your inventory, drag that burglar's pack in, and you're good to go. And then you have to make. Actually, you don't have to make any more choices. You'll just have to add a few more.
Equipment, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It goes under equipment.
There. Burglar's pack. Sure. Drag that in there. Great.
Get your hamburger's pack. Okay.
This is so much more convenient than like when I was playing Pathfinder and have to like do.
Right. So open another slot and give yourself a suit of leather armor.
Okay.
That'll upgrade your armor class for you automatically.
Suit.
Yeah, it should just be under leather armor.
Oh. Got it. And it is not there because I'm stupid. Give me a second. Give me a second to stop my stupid. There we go. Perfect.
Okay. There you go. You got leather armor. You get 2 daggers. So you can just drag the dagger in once and then change the number from 1 to 2.
What'd you say?
You get 2 daggers.
2 daggers? Okay.
Yeah.
So
just do 1 dagger and then you can update the number rather than dragging dagger in twice.
Oop. And then update that. Boom. Boom. Done.
Okay. And then lastly, you will get your thieves' tools. So these are the actual tools that you would use for your proficiency.
Thieves' tools?
Yeah, thieves' tools. They'll be in the inventory as well. And making more characters background.
Thieves' tools. Boom.
Nice. There you go. Okay.
Awesome.
So the next thing we need to do is we figured out what your character is now, right? You're an air genasi or a fire genasi rogue. You are a member of the magistrates of the Court of Swords. We know where this character is right when we meet them. We're going to find out a tiny bit about where the character came from. So what I want to do is just get you to write down in the very top right corner. What background are you going to go with?
I think it's going to be Outlander.
Outlander. Okay, cool. So yeah, put that under background. And then we'll give you some more skills and a couple pieces of gear. Do your alignment, and then we're good to go.
Cool.
All right. So as an Outlander, you gain proficiency in athletics and survival. So go ahead and check those.
Oh, athletics and survival. Okay.
Yeah, athletics and survival.
Boom. Survival. Hey, the ones I had negatives to. Great.
There you go. You gain another tool proficiency. So under your thieves tools, open up a new slot, and it's any one musical instrument, like one type of musical instrument. So what does your character play? What kind of musical instrument?
What does he play?
Yeah. Is it pipes? Is it a guitar? Is it
what sort of drums do we have in this world?
So the Court of Swords particularly. Now, do you want to play something that is contemporary to where you're from, or do you want to play something that's contemporary to where you are, right? Because the Court of Swords is predominantly inspired by like Southeast Asia, like the Khmer Empire particularly. So like Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam. But I haven't really thought too much about the Court of Wands yet, and because you're from there, you could just say it's like based on your character's name. Maybe it's like kind of like the Balkans or kind of like Russian. So you can play any kind of instrument you want, and it'll be up to you to decide if it's like local, and if so, you can pick an appropriate instrument there, or you can play whatever you want.
I'm looking something up right now.
Okay, cool. So you'll be proficient in that. So anytime you need to play, you'll be able to use that proficiency. I'm gonna fix your dagger for you, so it does dex. There we
go. I swear I'll get this. It's so important for me to know exactly what specific.
Yeah. I mean, if you wanna take your time, we could just put in musical instrument. You can come back.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna come back to it.
Want to do that? Okay. All right. I'll fill it in there for you.
One of the least important things. I'm like, I really need to just hammer out what this is.
You're the kind of person that takes like 2 hours to make their MMO character.
Very serious. Okay.
All right. So
I don't know why I'm being particular about that specific stat. Actually, usually with MMOs, I'm like, no, let's go through, because like they give you, especially nowadays, they give you so many options to create a character. It takes forever.
It's important because later, at some point, you'll be called upon for your musical talent, and you need to know exactly whether you play a shawm or a shamisen.
It's important.
All right. So eventually, you will know what kind of musical instrument, but for now, it's Schrodinger's instrument. You get to speak another language. So you can add this to your list of common, primordial, and thieves' cant. Common languages are Dwarvish, Elvish. You could also speak Draconic. You could speak Infernal. You could speak Goblin. You could speak Orc.
I'm gonna go Elvish.
Elvish, cool.
Yeah.
All right. So in the Court of Swords, the elves are not. They're all immigrants from some other place. And there's a bit of like tension in the court right now because the elves are sort of colonizing some of the court's areas and like blocking them off. They're kind of like the French in the Indochine. They're like, yep, no, we're here from some other place that you're not from, and we're kind of taking over. So there's a bit of tension about that. So speaking Elvish in the Court of Swords is becoming more and more useful. So that'll be definitely worth having.
In general, it's going to be a useful language. It comes up all the time.
Totally, yeah.
Elves are everywhere.
So under where you have your sneak attack on the next line, you have you can put Wanderer. Okay. And what Wanderer allows you to do is that your character has an excellent memory for maps and geography. You can always recall the general layout of terrain, settlements, and other features around you. And in addition, can find food and fresh water for yourself and up to 5 other people every day, provided the land offers such a thing. So if you were in like a barren wasteland, this wouldn't be available, but you're always able to kind of like find your way in the wild.
Okay.
So if I ever say to the party, like, all right, everybody, y'all are lost, you can be like,
I know where we're going. That's
actually, Adam. Cool. All right. So you're going to get a couple more things of equipment for your character, and then a little bit of money. So where it says GP in the middle bottom in your equipment, you begin with a stunning 10 gold pieces.
Nice.
Yeah. Outlander's not very well off, but that's okay. You got a bunch of gear. You can add these and for these ones, you can just add them, like type them in, because they're sort of miscellaneous. They're not really going to be on the gear list. So you get a staff, which isn't like a fighting staff, but it's like a walking staff you could use as a weapon.
So I'm adding these where?
Just add them to your equipment. Yeah, and I'll add in the weight after. So a staff, a walking stick, a hunting trap.
Hunting trap, okay.
Yeah. A trophy from an animal you've killed. So you just put like animal trophy.
All right. This is stuff I can just write in, right?
Yeah, go ahead and just write.
I don't need to use the compendium or whatever. There's not like it was a staff that I put in from the compendium, but
yeah, and that's fine too. Yeah.
Okay, staff. What was the second one?
Hunting trap.
Got it.
So if the bag of ball bearings doesn't work, you can always lay down like a bear trap for somebody.
Yeah.
Animal trophy. So like a ram's skull or a tiger fang necklace, or and again, this can be like really like from any kind of jungle animal. You're in a river delta, so there's lots like crocodiles or alligators. I can never remember which. You get traveler's clothes.
Yeah,
you get clothes. I know you don't have to spend your gold on them. And you have your 10 gold, so you can use that or hang on to it as you like. Cool. Okay. So the last thing that we need to do to get acquainted with your character is to talk about your alignment, your drive, and your history. So the alignments, these are non-standard alignments just for the Court of Swords. This is a thing that both is an internal philosophy for your character and something that when you were born, the seer at your birth was there to say, oh, this person is born under the sign of whatever alignment. Do you have one in mind? Did you pick one?
Guess what? It's Tejas.
Nice. All right.
Fire.
So you are aligned with fire.
Fire and fire. It's all about the fire.
Okay. So that means your character is prone to bursts of anger. They're strong-willed, passionate. They have a penchant for destruction, but also purification and protection. And they're a strong person. Fire is the alignment of the Court of Wands, and it is the alignment of getting shit done.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So write down fire, Tejas, in your alignment area.
I really wanted it to be pronounced Tejas.
It's true. It's Sanskrit, unfortunately, not Spanish. Cool. So you got that. And then there's an area of your character sheet you just won't use, like personality traits, ideals, and flaws. You can just ignore that whole side.
Yeah, okay.
We're replacing that with drive and history.
Okay. So
you can record these. If you go to the bio page, there's a bunch of different spaces for notes. So you can record your drive and your history. And now you don't have to tell us your character's whole history right now, but drive and history are one sentence that when you're doing something to further pursue your drive, you'll charge inspiration. And when you illustrate to us through your character's actions, something about your history, you'll charge inspiration. So do you know what you want your drive to be? What drives your character? And if you have like a larger idea, I can help you edit it down to a sentence.
Sure. Yeah. He's mainly just constantly wanting to better and improve himself as a result of his poor upbringing. Really, that's it. So just
I like that. Yeah. So like I will prove that I am better than my upbringing.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So write that down as your drive. And every time your character does something where you're like if I'm like, someone gives you shit for being a fire genasi and you punch him in the face, right? That could be your drive, but it could also be like a less burning conflagration and more internal embers where you're like, no, I have to get it done. Yeah, I have to show.
Really great wordplay right now. I will prove that I'm just putting this under bio, right?
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. As your drive.
Better.
And obviously your character has a broader history than just this, but sum your history up as like kind of one sentence or one statement.
It's history. I hate trying to condense it down to one sentence.
Well, give me the gist and I'll help you condense it.
Okay. Abandoned at youth, trying to, explore and find his way in the world.
So maybe your history can be like a wandering abandoned youth, right? That can be the sentence, or like abandoned as a child is your history. Yep. And this way, every time you do something that's directly related to that, you show us more of your character. Mm-hmm. And these things aren't set in stone forever. At the beginning of every session, I'm going to ask, do you want to change your drive? Do you want to change the focus of your history? And you can adjust and move it around as you go.
Yeah, I have like notes outlined, but I don't want to, I don't want to give away too much, and also want to develop it.
Yeah, perfect. Sounds good.
So for history, just abandoned at youth, or
yeah, totally. Yeah, I was abandoned in my youth because that's going to leave some scars. Mm-hmm. Now you'll have a bond with the other characters. We'll do a reading at the beginning of the next session because everybody kind of needs to be present for that. But otherwise, I think your character is done. If you want to, at some point between now and when we play, you can spend that 10 gold, or you can keep it in your pocket and spend it when we are in game. Either way, it's up to you. Okay. So you're prepared with a name for your character, I believe.
Yes, I am.
Tell us what it is.
His name is Velimir Setrovic.
Nice. I like it. So we will see Velimir again at the beginning of episode 1 of Court of Swords. So thanks for coming, Gassy, getting your character together, and we'll see you again soon.
Cool. It was fun times. Excited.
Hey, patrons. Thanks for your pledge to support RollPlay. Welcome to the Court of Swords. I'm here with JP.
Hello.
Make a character. So it falls upon you, my friend, to be a party protector. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard that Dan is going to be healing, and I've heard that Max will be our damage dealer of sorts. So I'm going to be the tank, I guess.
You be the tank. It's a big responsibility. You think you're ready? Can you do it?
I've played tanks before. I've played a fighter in other shows, so
Cool.
I've actually played a barbarian as well, and that's actually what I think I'm going to be going with.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. Cool. So you want to go with barbarian, and you're going to take advantage of the new race options, right? You're going to be a genasi.
Yeah, so I want to be an air genasi. I've decided
Nice.
that would be because you said they get a bonus to Dex, and barbarians AC is based off Dex plus con, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
'cause they get
the air genasi.
unarmored defense is what it is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the air genasi are a good fit thematically too because the Court of Swords dominant element is air. So I think most air genasi come from the Court of Swords. So
Great.
that's cool. All right. Well, we got to start with the ability score situation. So did you come down on either side? Are you gonna take the array or are you gonna roll?
Um, if I roll, are you letting me? Is there any perks to rolling?
Just that you can roll. I'm awful at math, so I never know. Like, I assume based on the way D&D is built, the safe option is like slightly marginally better than the unsafe option overall on average. But you could roll like 2 18s and you could super luck out. It's 4d6. You keep the highest three.
It's 4063, right?
Yeah, four 6-sided dice, and then you drop the for each batch, you drop the lowest one and keep the highest three and do that 6 times, and then that's your array.
Fuck it. I want to roll.
Yeah, you want to roll? Okay.
We'll roll.
Okay. All right. So
On the spot rolling.
so for the roll, the easiest way to do it in Roll20 is /R and then a space, then 4d6 K3, and that'll roll 4 dice and keep the highest 3. And you want to do that 6 times. So you can just hit up after you've rolled.
4060K.
4d6 K3.
All right, so 4d6 K3.
Yeah. Yeah, and that'll automatically keep the highest 3 and discard the lowest one.
And we need, let me pull up my character sheet. We need 6 stats.
Yeah, you need 6 of these. And they're not in order. You can assemble them however you want. So you'll want to throw your highest one at strength, but let's see how you do.
All right, roll number 1. I hope I didn't make it. Fuck it. That's an 11.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, now you don't have to assign it now.
Yeah,
you
I don't
can
have
just
to
roll
assign it
all
now.
6.
Yeah,
roll
I
all
was
6.
I was just taking note of it. 11.
Sure.
9, 12, 13, 17,
There you go.
12.
Okay.
Not the worst rolls.
Yeah, certainly more average than the array. So the array, just for reference, is 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8. So resulting in more bonuses at the cost of a penalty. But that 17, if you put it in your prime stat, is going to go up further, right?
Yeah.
So
That's true.
all right. Okay. So now that you have your stats, you want to arrange them on your sheet however feels good for you. Keeping in mind your con will go up by 2 and your dex will go up by 1. And there is a jump between 17 and 18. So if you put that 17 in dex, it'll go from +3 to +4.
17 to 18 is +4.
Yeah. So 18 is a
shit.
+4.
But my damage is still based off strength, yeah, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, that's right. Unless you go with like finesse weapons, like there are certain weapons that allow you, like a scimitar allows you to use your dexterity bonus instead of your strength.
Ooh.
So
I'd
you could
be
use
a dex build.
Dex barbarian.
Dude, that'd be sick. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm
pretty
putting that
cool.
17 in dex.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so 17 goes into dex. It becomes 18 because air genasi, you get the +1. And then what do you want to put for your constitution? It'll go up
I
by
think 15,
2.
so I'll have 17. Well, hold on. If it's
You don't have any 15s, right? You got a 13. That'll become a
right,
15.
it'll become a 15. Oh yeah. So let's do that.
And that'd be a +2 to your hit points.
Yeah. So let's do that. 13. Or sorry, 15 because I get the +2.
That's right. And then you got 2 12s, an 11, and a 9. So those are all the 12s are +1, the 11 is 0, and the 9 is -1. So
I think we'll do 12 charisma.
okay.
What will strength still be? I probably still need a high strength.
Having a decent strength will be for things like athletics checks, like pushing people around and climbing and lifting shit. But yeah, I mean, in this case, you're going to be more kind of about acrobatics than athletics.
Okay, so I think 12 strength, 12 charisma.
Okay.
And then what? I have a 9 and an 11.
Yeah, so intelligence and wisdom. Do you want to be smarter than you are wise, or wiser than you are smart?
11 and then 9 wise.
Okay, cool.
Shit. Do with the base array, do you get a -1? You get an 8,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, the base array gives you an 8. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, 18.
I think overall you did better than you would have.
Yeah, I did better, yeah.
That 17's a big deal.
The 17's pretty huge, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's record the rest of your Genasi traits. So as a Genasi, you get base walking speed of 30.
Okay, so speed is 30.
Speed is 30, yep, just average. And then you speak, you're fluent in Common and Primordial. Should be bottom of corner. Common and Primordial. And Primordial is the language of elementals. So you can talk to like genies and elemental-based creatures with that language. It's like a language
of only the air domain?
No. Primordial is just one language. Yep.
Gotcha. Elemental language. Perfect.
Yeah. And then as an air genasi, you get unending breath. Is
this feature and traits?
Yeah, these are features and traits. So unending breath. As long as you're not unconscious, you can hold your breath forever. Which is cool for passing through like smoke-filled rooms or going underwater.
Yep.
And then you have an ability called Mingle with the Wind, which allows you to cast Levitate once per long rest.
Once per long rest. Okay.
Yeah, cool. So you got the ability to levitate yourself, which is kind of cool.
Great.
Never need to climb a ladder again.
That's true.
So as a barbarian...
level 1, I get rage.
Yeah, your rage ability, which let's see, rage gives you advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. If you make a melee weapon attack using strength, you get a bonus to the damage roll according to your level.
Right. That's right.
And then you also gain resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. So you're harder to hurt. And right now your rage lasts 1 minute.
Which in game time, each round is 6 seconds?
Yeah, it's 10
rounds.
You can rage for pretty much a whole fight.
Melee weapon damage plus X, where X is equal to your... Oh, no. Is it according to the table? Yeah, it's according to the table.
Yeah. So
it doesn't bump up to +3 till 9th.
That's right. Yeah, it's +2 right now, and you get 2 rages per long rest. So 2 minutes worth. The 2 minutes rage. Your armor class, when you're not wearing armor, defaults to 10 plus your Dex mod plus your Constitution modifier.
10 plus AC or Dex plus Con. So I would get 16 AC.
Yep. And you can stack that with a shield. So if you're going scimitar build, you can do shield for another 2 AC and have your scimitar.
Yep, let's do that.
Which is cool. Okay, well we'll get to that. We'll see what.
Okay, I'm just gonna put 16 armor class then.
Yeah, just put it for now. Because the shield, when you drag it into your inventory, it'll bump your AC up automatically.
Right, and that's because of unarmored defense, right?
Yeah, that's unarmored defense right there.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, so as a barbarian, you start with 12 plus your Constitution modifier and hit points.
Yep. So 14 HP.
Yep. You have 1d12 hit dice.
Yep.
You are proficient in so down bottom left. You're proficient in light and medium armor and shields.
Hit dice total is 1, and I have right?
Yeah, a D12. Yeah, because this really only it just goes up every level as you gain levels, and it'll be the same number. It's your
So
level.
the total hit dice is 12, but I have 1 hit dice, right?
Total is 1d12, and then hit dice is 1.
Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. Okay.
You got it.
Okay, and then what else?
And then you get so your light armor, medium armor, and shields for your proficiencies.
Okay, let me.
In case you ever want to wear armor.
Our proficiencies. Do I need to write those down?
Yeah, it should be bottom left of your character sheet, under other proficiencies and languages.
Gotcha. Light armor, light, medium, shield, proficiencies. Okay.
Okay, and then you're also proficient with simple weapons and martial weapons.
Simple weapons, martial weapons. Okay.
Yep. Now the sheet's already calculated your saving throws for you. If you select barbarian as your class, it'll automatically check off the correct ones. It should have strength and constitution checked. If it doesn't, you can just check them manually.
Yeah, I'll just check them real quick. It didn't do it for some reason. Strength and constitution.
Yep, strength and con.
Okay.
And then I see. So here's how you do it. Click where it says barbarian, click off to another one, and then click back to barbarian, and it'll add in a box for rage, and it'll affect your saving throws.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
There you go.
Gotcha.
Okay. So it's got that. And now you choose 2 of these skills to check off: animal handling, athletics, intimidation, nature, perception, and survival.
Let's go with athletics and perception.
Okay. Yeah, good call.
Athletics and perception. Perception's now 1, not a -1, so that's good.
Okay. So
Choose
now you
2,
get. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And then you're gonna get some gear. So you'll get a a martial. I think any martial weapon or a great axe.
Is martial weapon a scimitar?
Yeah. I'm just looking for scimitar. I think scimitar is just a martial weapon.
I don't have the. I do have the DM handbook, but it's back on the thing behind me.
Yeah, it's okay. I got it here. You can also always use the SRD, and this is how you're going to add gear to your. So top right section under the toolbar, just click the I, and then you can search for scimitar.
Top right section under the toolbar.
In Roll20 in the top right, there's
okay. Gotcha. Okay.
So if you click that and then search for scimitar.
Scimitar plus scimitar of speed, right? That's Vorpal scimitar.
Yeah, totally. All those.
Okay.
No.
All right. Here's the scimitar.
And then under items in your equipment, sort of middle bottom, click the plus to give yourself a blank line, and then just click and drag the scimitar over.
Now I popped the window out. Do I need to pop it back in for this to work?
Yeah. Pop it in for it to work.
If I just close this, well.
Yeah, you can close it and reopen it, and it'll open inside.
Okay, there we go. Perfect. Whoops. Fancy. Gotta hit that and then drag that in there.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okay, now let me take a quick look. I just want to double check because it is a finesse weapon, and you're going to be using it for that. So
it says +3. Is that coming off my dex?
No. So by default, it uses the melee version of that. So I can go in and edit it for you.
Okay.
Here we go. So scimitar. And while that's happening, do you want to have, I think it's like hand axes?
2 hand axes or any simple weapon.
Yeah.
What is defined as if I pull up the SRT, if I type in simple weapon, will it pull up a list?
You can give it a shot.
Nope, didn't work.
Okay.
What is defined as a simple weapon?
Simple weapons are club, dagger, great club, hand axe, javelin, light hammer, mace, quarterstaff, sickle, spear. Those are the melee ones.
What would you say is like the weapon of the Air Genasi?
Probably some kind of thrown weapon. Like actually hand axes are a pretty good choice for a throwing weapon.
Yeah, let's do hand axes.
Okay, because that was your option, right? Four throwing axes?
2 hand axes.
2 hand axes? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So hand axe +1 or hand axe, normal hand axe. I'll put that in there.
Yeah.
And then I want to put 2 right instead of 1. Okay, great. Cool.
Okay, cool.
And then an explorer's pack. Oh, and I get 4 javelins as well.
Excellent.
Now, if I type in explorers? Oh,
yeah,
nice.
the packs are in there.
So intuitive.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wait, why does it go away why is it going away? Are you editing the sheet?
Oh, sorry. I was just fixing your scimitar.
Oh, okay. Explorer's pack and 4 javelins.
Yeah.
Four javelins. Okay. There we go. Wow, I get a +6 on the weapon. That's nice.
Yeah, and actually all of these will end up being so because it defaults to the melee version of a weapon. So if you throw the hand axe or you throw the javelin, the bonus to damage and stuff changes too.
So how do I now with this new rule set? What do I click to actually roll this?
So if all you have to do is click the name of the weapon, you can see I did it a bunch of times to test it. You click the name of the weapon and it should run the weapon for you.
It just pops up. It says no attribute was found for at halfling luck, R-type halfling luck character output.
Oh, it's probably because I was messing around. Let me get it.
Okay, well we'll have it ready for.
Yeah, we'll have it ready for sure. But so what happens is you'll roll it and it'll drop the advantage. So you always pick the one on the left unless you have advantage. You pick the lowest or the worst one if you have disadvantage. That kind of thing. And then if you click the name of the weapon, it'll pop it open. But I gotta mess with your scimitar because we haven't turned on the finesse yet.
Cool.
Okay, so
that's it for character.
Let's go to. Do you know what background you want to take?
Is that in here?
Yeah. So your backgrounds are in the player's handbook.
I need to find that real quick. Just look at the list.
Sure. They're on 127. I think is where the first one starts.
Okay.
And so these will give you some more skills and a couple other things.
Oh, okay. I think for the background. There's a soldier one, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's see. Soldier, yeah.
Yeah.
Great, yeah, I'd be a soldier.
Okay. All right. So you get athletics and intimidation as trained skills.
Athletics is already trained. Do I get a bonus?
You can pick a different one from your class.
Oh.
Instead, you can go back and change it.
Let's see here. So different one would be. Let's go with survival. What is that based off of?
It's wisdom.
Wisdom. Oh, well, that's not going to be good.
You're going to mitigate the penalty that you have rather than make something
actually,
better.
That's not a bad idea. Let's take survival and what was the other one?
Intimidation.
Excuse me. Great.
Okay.
All right, cool.
So those two off. You'll also gain tool proficiency. Now these are on the left above your other proficiencies. You can just press tool and add in a new one. You get to pick a gaming set as one of your proficiency options.
Okay. I'll look at the list of that.
Yeah, so you can pick one of the gaming sets. It's like cards, dice, or some other one.
Okay.
So you'll get a gaming set, and then also land vehicles. So you know how to drive a wagon and ride a horse and all that.
Great.
And then you get a bunch of miscellaneous equipment, and that's on 140. You can write it down now if you want, or you can deal with it later. But basically, it gives you an insignia of your former rank, a trophy taken from a fallen enemy, a set of bone dice or a deck of cards, a set of common clothes, and then 10 gold.
Yep, all that in there in the near future. Do I get to roll for my specialty?
So yeah, if you want to, or you can just choose one. This was your time as a soldier.
Oh, I would want to be.
So basically, your character left the army to join the magistrates to become like a traveling monster hunter, basically for the government. The Court of Swords employed you. They probably recruited you out of the army. What were you doing in the army before the court came to you and was like, "We need you to go and kill monsters for us"?
I think I was an officer.
Cool. Yeah. That's great.
I kind of have a backstory going up in my head, so
Excellent.
cool.
Okay. And then you get a feature, one more under features and traits. You get military rank. So you can invoke your rank when you're around other soldiers, that kind of thing. Like you're still whatever your rank was. So you're still a captain or a sergeant or whatever. So when you go into a town, you can demand that people call you that. They call you by your rank. You were an officer, so it's probably quite a high rank. And you can gain access to friendly military encampments and fortresses where your rank is recognized.
Great.
So that's super cool. You got that to back you up.
Yeah, fantastic.
Cool. Okay, so just a couple more quick things.
Can I? Oh, we didn't roll. Did you roll starting gold for Dan?
No. So in the way that we're doing character creation, to make it quick, you just get the bonus gold from being a soldier. So you have 10 more gold.
Okay, gotcha.
In addition to all the other stuff that you got.
Gotcha.
This is faster that way. I think if we do replacement characters and people want to roll for gold, that's a thing they could do.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so we need to just finish up a couple of the Court of Swords related stuff. So you got to pick your alignment. So there's the five elemental alignments. Do you have one in mind, or?
Yeah, I think I go air because I'm
air as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So despite being a barbarian and a soldier, your character has a natural tendency toward thought and communication and intellect. Right? You're a thinker as much as you are a doer, which is cool. You're also very much like in line with your species. It's sort of expected. In a lot of ways, you're kind of the poster boy for the Court of Swords, right? You're an air genasi
Right.
who are revered in the court as being like pure. You're a member of the military, which is very important to the Court of Swords. They hold their military in high accord. You're a magistrate, and your elemental alignment, which is a thing that people can like find out about you in the world. You are air aligned, so you're kind of like you're toeing the party line.
Right.
Which is cool because it gives you lots of room to fall from there.
Yeah.
Cool. So make a note that your alignment is air.
Okay.
And then instead of the usual stuff that gives you inspiration, we're replacing it with drive and history. So your character is driven by something. Might be driven to further glory, to serve the court, to gain political power, something like that. That's your character's drive. Whenever you pursue it, you get inspiration. And then you have your character's history. So it's like a single important point from your character's history that as you expand on it, you'll gain inspiration by play.
Okay.
I think your drive and history should be.
I think my drive will be. Although it's kind of. It'll play with the history, but I think the drive is I will not be my father.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Be my father, and then for the history, I think the history is that my family obviously has like been in the military. The Air Genasi have been in the military for quite some time, and my grandfather was kind of like, I wouldn't say, I don't know the structure of the court yet, 'cause you haven't told me, but I would say it was whatever the highest rank you'll give him. And
Sure.
my father was basically a complete fuck up. And like
Okay.
he was
Right.
the guy that like tried to follow my grandfather's footstep, but like no matter what he did, he just always messed up, and is kind of like, I'm known as like his daughter, and I don't I would think that in the court, you tell me, like, are women viewed as not soldiers?
I don't think so. I think that regardless of your gender,
Okay.
you're treated more by your like the signs you're born under and your elemental alignments and stuff.
Gotcha.
Which would make it even more embarrassing when someone who is like an air genasi and born to a good line ends up being kind of a fuck up.
Yeah. So I think that's the history then. Like my dad was just a major fuck up, and my grandfather was just someone who was highly regarded, but I was raised by my father, and my grandfather obviously was too busy doing what he does in the court.
Yeah, so if you want to, so the four main foundations, the people that run each of the courts, are the king and queen, the knight, and the page. So if you want to go like real hardcore, they're like, they reincarnate. It's said that they each have, there's a spirit that's reincarnated by the gods into a different body, and each time, your grandfather could have been like the Knight of Swords.
Yeah,
which
I was
would have
gonna
been,
say,
like, a huge deal.
Yeah, we'll say knight. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, they're basically
And
like
and maybe that's why people are like expect something of me, because they think that I'm the reincarnation, but I'm just there trying to like do my own thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like there are parts of the court that like seek out and test people to see if they are the reincarnation. And maybe the current knight is keeping an eye out for people who might be his reincarnation. That's cool. I like it.
Cool.
All right, cool. We'll work out your bonds with the other characters when we do the opening reading for the game.
Okay.
And I think because you're a barbarian, pretty much all you got to do is just spend that gold. If you want to pick one of the gods that you serve, you can, but you don't have to. You're not a cleric or anything. So
Okay. Yeah, I'll think about that. I'll need to look at the list of gods that you've given us.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. So we have a potential hero of the people who have both a important grandfather and a not so important father. So people are looking at you to be like, which one's she going to be?
Right. Yeah.
The good kind or the bad kind? That's exciting. Cool. All right. Well, we're ready to go, and we'll see your character again. Do you have a name for her?
Not yet. I'm bouncing between a bunch of them, and I'll have that name ready for Saturday. So.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll find out what her name is and what she's about when we start. So we'll see you for the episode.
Cool stuff. We'll see you guys then.